are starting to hear, and you've been shouting on that bullhorn for quite long enough. But, you know, you look at the effect now, and in today, apparently there's a page in today's Independent newspaper, that's British broadsheet national paper. You know, I think the Guardian are actually picking up another piece and putting it in the newspaper about just more of a newsy kind of piece. And you know, I was on Radio 4 talking, which is a major news, current affairs radio program called Today.
No, it's worldwide. I mean, I can get it on my XM radio.
Yeah, and so that's what you're seeing there. And there's Spanish newspapers, and apparently the only Spanish newspaper that hasn't really reported on it is the one owned by one of the guys up the hill. So yeah, but you know, it's very, very different. There are more people here, and there are camera crews, and there are photographers, and there are news reporters, and there are documentary makers, and it feels totally different, and it really feels like a breakthrough.
So the tide is turning against him, exactly as Zbigniew Brzezinski said 3 weeks ago. Other intel when you were inside and talking to other reporters.
Actually, before I go there, can I tell you about something else about the turning of the tide?
Sure.
Which is that, now this is, I've just literally been told it. Apparently there's going to be some footage coming up on YouTube somewhere, but the people who've been chanting their chant in Spanish on the roundabout here, they've been chanting to the police, they've been saying, you have a heart behind your badge, you have a brain under your hat. After the football, they've been chanting. After the football, we're the ones you'll be having a beer with. We're the ones you should be protecting, and they kept saying this, you have a heart behind your badge. And apparently, I've been told one of the policemen took off his hat, turned to his colleagues and said, I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore, and walked across the street and joined the protesters. Now, apparently there's footage of that, but if that's the case, that right there is the power of, you know, I sound like an idiot, but that's the power of truth, and that's the power of information.
We just played the video from YouTube of when they had the machine guns pointed out the windows at us. You can pause that later if you're watching this on the web and see it, but that's just from video. We have video stills online that are even crisper. And then they had Marines driving around with clown masks on, following us and harassing us. Again, it's all psychological, because we dare go and say, we don't want our president picked in secret. And the Marines are like, this is illegal. A citizen's... yeah, that's a good still right there. We can see him lifting the machine gun up. But there's another shot where it's pointed out. Mr. Skelton, stay with us for another 5 minutes in this segment, and then 5 more. 5 minutes into the next hour. Then we got Jim Tucker coming up later, Bob Chapman, and a lot more. I want to talk about more what you saw inside the hotel as they threw you out, and what other reporters are telling you, what intel they're getting. But that's really exciting news. He's on assignment there outside Barcelona in this resort area, at this luxury hotel outside of it. And he's got some major breaking news for us, confirming what he heard the highest level Bilderberg staff of the club itself at dinner. And I wish you'd had a micro recorder. Man, that'd be gold. But regardless, you're a reporter, so it's on the record, and that's good. But Tucker's saying, Tucker told you, and this is big news. Tell folks what Tucker told you.
Well, this is confirmed. What Tucker said confirmed what we heard at dinner. And what we heard is that they were talking about the fact that there are fewer delegates this year turning up to the Bilderberg conference, because a lot of them don't want to come because they don't want to be seen to come, and because of the security, and they think they might get seen, so they're not turning up. And I heard Jim Tucker say that. So what you've got a situation there where this meeting is, they don't want to be seen to be a Bilderberger. I mean, what on earth does that tell you about the meeting? And what does it tell you about the fact that, you know, the amount of guerrilla journalism and the amount of interest on the online community, and you know, what few journalists have been reporting about this, that kind of pressure is building, and it's turned into a situation which is untenable for some of the delegates to come along. So they've turned their back. And
well, what about '94? Hillary Clinton got going from memory, a $400,000 fine for violating the Logan Act as in the White House. And then in 2006, we know Hillary was in Ottawa. She lied about it. And here came a U.S. diplomatic armored limousine, and they pulled into the underground parking garage, and then it left a few hours later. And then later we confirmed Hillary was there. So, I mean, it's just incredible. And Madeleine Albright in 2008, there's actually photos of this online that activists shot. I was told, because, you know, we were all around the perimeter bullhorning and yelling, and there were people, so it was a several square mile area, so I didn't see it, but I saw the photos. She drove in a Volvo, and even though it was 200 yards in or so, because this place in Virginia had woods all around it, it was quite a park area around it, and they had police and others and Marines and plainclothes guarding it, that she ran in and panicked and then ran back out. And there's photos of it. So, I mean, they are scared to death of the people because of the type of criminal stuff they're discussing in there. They know. I mean, they're acting so guilty.
I know. It's like Bilderberg has become a dirty word. And I don't. If it's one of those questions, if it's not a bad thing, why not just go? I don't understand. If it's just a thing that people are just having a nice chat, or if they're strategizing for the good of the world, then great. Why not just have those strategy talks, and why not just invite the press, and maybe even ask a few intelligent people who what they might think about it. Maybe ask the members of the press, maybe ask the members of the public. Let's talk about how to steer our humanity to a better place. But maybe that's not exactly what's being discussed.
Now, you talk about being the last person in the hotel and them running you and your wife out with security. Describe some more what happened inside as they closed the gates.
Well, it's my wife is she's got some nerves. I was much nervier than she was. She decided to just drag her heels. We were checking out. We were about an hour late checking out. They kept ringing the room, and I was going, for goodness sake, we have to go. And she's going, no, this is fun. And she got to reception, and then she said, "Oh, do you mind? I've really got to print something out." They said, "Oh, yeah, okay, yeah." And so the concierge accidentally sent her right in. This is when they were putting up the trestle tables. It was really they were getting everything just ready. All the guests had left except us. And my wife Hannah goes and sits down right in the middle of the engine of Bilderberg at a computer terminal, and suddenly she's spotted, and this extremely stern Dutch lady turns around and says, "Take her to security. Take her to security." And they got pretty nasty with her.
Remove this slave!
Alex Jones.
You get 150 of the most powerful people in the world meeting. Royalty, the heads of the Fortune 60. And they are scared to death of citizens, just like G20. They'll have a public G20 meeting, and then behind the scenes, the elite flies in, and they meet in these hotel ballrooms. But Bilderberg is one of the oldest continual meetings of this Committee of 300, and Charlie Skelton is finishing up his report to us, London Guardian reporter. We've got links on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com to this event. So you were talking about the day they shut it down, you and your wife being the last people in the hotel. You go into, to the nerve center where they're setting up computers and tables. I've witnessed this myself being thrown out in Virginia when they met in 2008. And they start, because I had all my camera guys split up, and they were, "Get out of here! Who are you? Get him! Give me that camera!" And then we basically got chased out of the hotel finally at the end. But finish up with the boldness of your Frau Skelton, and then let's get into any other things that happened.
Yeah, no, just what I was just saying, that, they had a go at her, and they were, they looked at her like a slug had suddenly landed on their lettuce. And, and my wife said, "This isn't a very friendly hotel." And this woman, just said, "No, it is not a friendly hotel." And they threw her out, and so we got lost. But before that had all happened, she'd managed to creep behind. This is on the previous day. She was sitting behind the pool. Some ladies who were running through the biography info of the various participants, and she took some photos over their shoulder. And this is exactly, I don't know if you know the scene from Rear Window when Jimmy Stewart's looking at...
Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah, and Grace Kelly's opposite the way, and the guy's coming back, and I'm across the pool and splashing about in the pool, trying to make as much noise so that they don't hear the camera clicks. And she's looking over the shoulder, and she got some good names, And
hold on. Have you posted this on The Guardian yet?
I posted the list of names. I have, yes. I didn't post how we got it.
Oh, so now you're telling us.
Yeah.
How about the photos? Because, right now this is hot. Please get it on The Guardian immediately. Oh, please. Or
I can send you the photos. I mean, they're a bit blurry. We spent a long time deciphering it.
No, that's okay. Listen, anything you want posted that you think they don't have the nerve to do, because I know you're paying for a lot of this on your own, we are happy to post it. So, because I know you're doing some stuff outside of The Guardian. I'm going to give you a key email, coming up as we let you go here, going into break to get this up. Charlie Skelton, you're amazing. And we're going to get you on Monday or Tuesday after you've gotten back home to the UK and had time to rest to kind of, you know, in the aftermath, give us your full view. But we are very thankful to you and your wife's courage. Any other tidbits that you've forgotten to tell us?
Well, I tell you, there's a nice little human story, which is that they were sitting around at dinner and they were saying they had a bit of a problem because one of the participants demanded a smoking room. And they said, but it's a non-smoking hotel, and they were trying to work out how to get around this. And so one of them pointed out that the smoking ban hasn't actually fully come in for the next few days, so they got under the wire. I think they're okay. But it was very. There's some human stories as well in all of this.
Well, that also shows how these globalists are obsessed with their own little neurotic rules when any normal person would just ignore the smoking ban. I mean, these are neurotic people. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I mean, I'm going to hopefully get some more on that story of the policeman who's switched sides, which would be great. And